Okay, section 12.5, samples and surveys. So we have a lot of keywords and terminology that you're going to need to learn the definitions and use them on your homework for today. So if we are looking at categories of data, we have two types. We are looking at quantitative data. Okay, when I hear this, I hear quantity, quantity. This is usually measurements and can be described using numbers. So if we're counting things, that's going to usually be quantitative data. Our next one is qualitative. So in the word qualitative, you hear it sounds like quality. This usually describes categories and cannot be numerically compared. So a qualitative data, so if I was talking about Miss May and I would say she's an awesome Algebro partner, right? Awesome would be describing a quality about her, okay? So our examples today, you're just going to decide between, is it quantitative or qualitative? Favorite movie? Well, we're not counting the movies, so that's going to be qualitative, right? My favorite movie might be different than Miss May's, so that is a quality about our personality, right? It's a qualitative. The cost. Cost of CDs. You have cost, which is money, okay? And we can count money, so that's quantitative. We have number of students taking Spanish. Keyword, number, right? That's counting, so quantitative. Eye color, well, we're not counting the eyes, right? Eye is a quality, the color is a quality, so that's going to be qualitative. Not sure if I spelled that right, but we'll move on. Football jersey numbers. Okay, this is deceiving. You hear number, right? But we're talking about the quality of the look of the jersey, so that's going to be, I'm false, sorry. Miss May was about to just correct me. Sorry, we are talking about Tom Brady, Miss May's favorite quarterback. He is the number 12. So that is correct. That is a quantitative.
Hey, that one spelled so bad.
Huh?
That spelling is just killing it.
I know. And then the number of siblings. So again, number quantitative. Okay, you're just choosing between those two for this first section. Then we are looking at types of data. We're looking at univariate data and bivariate data. Okay, uni means one, so this is a set of data that only uses one variable. And bivariate, a set of data that uses two variables. You guys probably already knew these terminology, right? If you played the game Uno, and uni, they sound for one. Bivariate, like a bicycle, has two wheels. So picking between the two of them in atomic weights of the elements in the periodic table. Okay, I only heard one thing. We were looking at the weights. So that's going to be univariate. Okay, heights and weights of mammals. I heard two things there. That will be bivariate. The edge lengths and volumes. Edge lengths and volumes. So I heard two things. Bivariate. The cost of internet from several different providers. Cost of internet. I just heard one thing there. So that is going to be univariate. Okay, sorry about my bad handwriting there, Miss May. Anything you want to add there?
Nope, this is easy.
Okay. Okay, samples and population. Statisticians collect information about specific groups of objects or people. The entire group that you want data about is called a population. Okay? So in science, if you're usually testing a group, it's testing the population, right? When a population is too large to survey, they survey a part of it, which is called a sample. Okay? So like I said, in science, usually you're going to take a sample of a population. You take a big group and you're just going to take a small section of that group. So we do this in order to find the characteristics of the whole group. So we have three main methods that we use. Our first is called random. We survey a population at random. That is going to be our key word for our homework today. At the top of your homework, let's write the word random. Our next one is called systematic. When I hear systematic, I hear system, right? So we're selecting a number at random, then surveying every nth person. This sounds weird. What that means is I'm going to select every fifth person that I see, right? Every fifth person. The number doesn't always have to be 5. It could be the 10th person, the 13th person, but you're doing the same number every time. Our last one will be stratified. We separate a population into a smaller group, each within a certain characteristic. Then we survey at random within each group. So for example, if we're talking about our high school as our population, stratified would maybe be breaking you guys down into grade levels. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, right? We're breaking it into a much smaller group. So our first example, you want to find out how many DVDs students at your school rent in a month. You interview every 10th teenager that we see at a mall. First question, what sampling method are you using? Here's the key word, every 10th person. That is a systematic approach. Okay, so you need to write down the type, and then is this a good sample? Miss May, I said I was looking at how many DVDs students at our school rent in a month, but then where was I interviewing people?
At the mall?
But are all the people at the mall students at my school?
No.
No, so that is the mistake. We should be interviewing people at our high school, right? Hang on for the writing. Not good. Because you want to look at students at school, but you are at the mall. Okay? Doesn't have to be an essay, just something short on why it is good or bad. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and try the practice problem now. Alright, we're back. So looking at the practice problem, we've revised our plan and we interview all students leaving a school assembly who are wearing the school colors. What sampling method are you using? Well, we're looking at people that are wearing school colors, okay? That is a characteristic, so that is going to be stratified. And then, is this a good sample? It is not a good sample because we're only looking at the one group. We need to be looking at the other groups coming out of the assembly as well. So that is fine for our answer. Not good because you need to sample from each group. Okay, so these might be new words for you. Again, if you need the reasoning, look back at their definitions, right? Stratified, separate a population into smaller groups, each with a certain characteristic, then random within each group. So we only looked at one group, we didn't look at the multiple groups there. And our last section then is determining if these things have bias in them. Okay? So let's talk about what bias is. A survey question has bias when it contains assumptions that may or may not be true. Bias can influence opinion and can make one answer seem better than the other. So, me and Miss May, we never bias you, right? Math is obviously the best class on our charter campus, and you all know that. We don't need to try to convince you of that, okay? So, our example is a reporter wants to find out what kinds of movies are most popular with a local residence, all of them. The reporter asks, do you prefer exciting movies, action movies, or boring documentaries? Does the question have bias? Well, I would agree with this reporter, right? Action movies are way more exciting than boring documentaries, but not all people feel that way. So, adding these keywords, exciting and boring, that's going to convince people of how they should be thinking about these things. So that is our bias with these action, fun words for action movies, boring for documentaries, okay? So yes, there is bias. The words exciting and boring can influence opinions. Okay. Miss May, anything to add there? Making sense?
That makes sense.
All right, so our last practice, right? You want to determine what percent of teens ages 14 to 18 watch wrestling on TV. So we're looking at this age group who watch wrestling on TV. At a high school wrestling match, you ask every third teenager whether he or she watches wrestling on TV. Doesn't seem bad at first glance, right? They're even doing the systematic every third teenager. They're looking at a teenager, so it fits the age group. But we're asking them if they watch TV. Miss May, where are these people at?
The wrestling match.
Yeah, they're at a wrestling match, so aren't they watching wrestling right now? Yes, that is going to be bias, right? You shouldn't be interviewing people that are at the sports that you want to know if they watch on TV. So yes, students at a wrestling match are more likely to watch wrestling on TV. All right, you all. See you later. Good luck on that homework.